Hey, welcome back. I don't think I'll ever get tired of that.
No.
I almost forgot we had to talk after that was going.
Yeah, I was jamming too hard.
Anyway, episode 22, next week.
Ricky Henderson, 22.
Yeah, that's the guy. What'd you tell me about stolen bases?
The greatest leadoff hitter of all time. Hashtag fight meme.
I mean, I don't know. You were just telling me things like in a 9-year stretch, he had more stolen bases than people in like a 20-year stretch or something ridiculous like that. Yeah. Anyway, it was an insane week this week in the sports world. Lots of things to talk about.
I woke up to ridiculousness today.
Yeah, things have been going on. We'll get to as much of it as I can remember to and how much I've written down. So, we'll start with corrections from last week. First thing was Deion Sanders' son is Shedeur. Shedeure.
Okay, he did that on purpose.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, but that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bit much.
Is it worse than Randy Moss's son Thaddeus?
He's balling, though.
I mean, that wasn't a catch, but all right.
Yeah, was definitely not a catch. We'll get in that later.
I mean, tippy toes, but it's fine.
The head coach, Penny Hardaway, became the head coach of Memphis in 2018.
That kid dropped his appeal. Did you see that?
Really?
Yeah.
So he's just going to get suspended? That's stupid.
I mean, you're not going to win fighting it.
No, but
the fact that he's suspended in the first place is stupid.
Right.
Whatever.
So the other thing I wanted to talk about corrections was, so we were talking last week about Skip Bayless said, ask Tom Brady, and he'll take this receiver over Julian Edelman over this receiver. He was saying he would take him over Julio Jones.
Oh, you mean the modern day? I think he's close. Who did you compare him to? Nobody, right?
He's basically Julio, man.
He's so much faster than he looks.
Yeah, because he's a giant.
What was that play?
The screen? And he just outran everybody.
I think I literally texted you. I was like, I forgot how fast he was.
Yeah, bro. Julio's a freak. So yeah, no, there's no way that Tom Brady would take Edelman over Julio Jones.
I mean, unless you're high on crack, maybe.
They would be sitting at the dinner table, and they would be like, hey, Tom, only one of us can stay. And he'd be like, hey, Julian,
Edelman. Edelman. It doesn't even call him by his first name. Edelman.
Hey, Edelman, there's a Pizza Hut right down the road.
It was nice talking to you. Julio, can I call you JJ?
Come on. Oh, the other thing I had was, how about a fun fact? So, Julian Edelman has had 2 seasons of over 1,000 yards with Tom Brady. We talked about that last week. But one of them was 1,050.
Cheap.
And one of them was 1,120. Calvin Johnson had 2 seasons under 1,000 yards receiving. His rookie year and 1 season, he played 14 games where he had 964 yards. Just as a comparison. That's with Tom Brady and then with Matthew Stafford.
Staph infection. Can we start calling him that?
Yes, 100%. While we're talking about receivers, though, last week you brought up you wanted to compare.
Careers.
Career stats for the
I was kind of angry that you wouldn't tell me over the phone.
For the same amount of time, right? So Tom Brady. For Calvin Johnson's 9 years and Jerry Rice's 9 years. So
hold on. Little disclaimer. I don't know where they are, but let's also take into to the account the quarterbacks too.
100%.
Okay. Because I'm pretty sure 9 years through his career, that would have been all Montana.
Calvin Johnson's rookie year, they went 0-16.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying all those 9 years, I'm pretty sure that would have been Montana, maybe like a year Young.
Of Steve Young. All right. So here we go. Calvin Johnson first. He had, he had 8 seasons, 731 receptions, 11,619 yards, and 83 touchdowns.
Okay.
Jerry Rice had 610 receptions, so over 100 less. He had 10,273 yards, which is way less. And then he had 103 touchdowns.
I will say one thing, though, about the only thing that you have to take into account, too, minus the quarterbacks, is the era.
Yes, correct.
That, and I'm pretty sure the Lions were always playing down.
The Lions were always playing down. So he had the yardage. His numbers are better. He had a worse quarterback, but again, they're throwing the ball more. So that makes sense. That kind of makes sense. The thing that I was really surprised with was the touchdowns, but
Jerry Rice found his way to the end zone, bro.
He got in the end zone, and Calvin Johnson, in theory, should have led the league in touchdowns every year. And
especially with the way Stafford would just heave-ho. To be fair, though, can you blame the guy?
No, and I think what happened was they would get in the red zone. They're like, they know we're going to throw to Calvin. Here's a draw. They probably did a lot of stuff in the red zone to get away from that.
I would run a lot of goal line fades to Calvin as like a...
Just every time. If I'm within 10 yards, it's a goal line fade.
Even if it's just a distraction.
Yeah.
Calvin, no matter what the play is, you know what you're doing.
So... I'm not too surprised by that, except for the touchdowns. Jerry Rice's 40 time. Can you guess? Take a stab.
4.5?
4.71.
Yeah, he didn't get fast until later in his career.
Jarvis Landry ran a 4.7
when he started doing I think he started doing the same hill Walter Payton did, or maybe not the same hill, but
hill like workouts. Yeah. So my fun fact for the week.
Here we go.
The Falcons, the Browns, and the Buccaneers have more wins against teams with a winning record than the Cowboys. And the Cowboys have 5 wins. All of those teams have 2 or 3 now.
Sounds like another Skip Bayless team.
Huh.
Because what are the Patriots against a good team? What's their record? I think it's like 0-1.
Well, 1-1, because they did beat the Bills. The Bills are like...
No, they have a good defense. That's about it.
Yeah, all right, fine.
You have a quarterback that can throw it a country mile.
But you don't know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
He can run really good, though.
80,000-year-old Frank Gore.
Who just keeps running, man. All right,
I will say for a 36-year-old, I don't think I could do it. I couldn't do it now, but...
So, I want to talk about something that might be considered controversial.
Oh, shit.
But don't
change the station, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't shoot the messenger when I say these things, because that would be foolish of you. So, the women's national team is filing a lawsuit. Soccer? Okay. The women's soccer team.
Oh, you mean the only in United States national team that matters in sports?
Correct. Okay. They're filing a lawsuit because they want equal pay. So, here's the thing.
I know where you're going.
Yeah. So, the women... for example, the men... brought home per player $420,000. I think is what that said.
To lose
on the winning team, the men brought home.
When's the last time the men won?
Not the U.S. men's team. The men, whoever won the World Cup.
Oh, okay.
Brought home $420,000.
I was like, what the hell did the Americans bring home?
For the women, it's $110,000.
Okay.
Sounds like a big disparity, right?
Yeah, it is.
Did you know that the women bring home, what is it? The women get 23% of all money made on the World Cup.
Okay.
The winning team does. The men only get 7%.
Okay.
So, off the bat, you're technically being paid better. The reason...
Percentage-wise, yeah.
But the difference comes in that the men's tournament brings in $6 billion.
I believe that 1,000%.
The women's revenue is only $131 million. So you're getting a larger chunk of what you make. So what your people bring in, you can't ask for $420,000 per player because they don't make that much money.
Yeah, then the event itself wouldn't make any money.
So, I understand. I'm not saying women shouldn't be paid the same amount.
No, I'm saying go out there and promote your brand and make it exciting.
You're not going to make that money. Okay?
It's the same thing. To compare it, it's the same thing. People always try to compare the NBA minimum to the NBA or WNBA maximum.
Yeah.
It's because no one's going to WNBA games.
Right. It's not a sexist thing or they shouldn't be paid thing.
Sorry, no, people don't pay as much attention to women's sports as men's.
And I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. They just don't.
It's the truth.
Now.
It's the case.
And so I think filing a lawsuit saying we should be paid the same, yeah, maybe you should be. And if you made $6 billion, you absolutely should get as much of that as you can.
It's like...
I just think it's silly. It seems like a big...
I've been asked before about the WNBA, why don't they have a video game?
Yes.
Ben.
We talked about that before, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, nobody would buy it. He was like, well, I would buy it. Like, you're like one person.
Oh, for sure.
No one would buy it.
It's
not anything against them. It's just
the advertising's not there. The interest isn't there.
No, go watch a WNBA game. The crowd looks like
right. It's almost empty. And I don't think, and I'm not saying that it should or shouldn't be. I think they should be promoted, and I hope they get as much money as they can because that's a cool thing. Playing for a sport for.
I think there's maybe 5 WNBA women players that are exciting to watch.
Sure, and that's...
If you put a gun to my head and made, hey, name 10, I would be like, I got like 3.
Yeah, I don't think I would make it. But again, part of that is they're not being advertised. And
does Lisa Leslie still play? No.
Diana Taurasi, Brittany Griner, Maya Moore, Candace Parker.
Is Brittany Griner actually good?
You didn't say name 5 good players. You said name 5 players.
She's 8 feet tall. And she said she could go up against
Deladon, Elena Deladon.
She's good.
She's a baller.
I'm not saying women aren't good at basketball.
Right. It's just that
men are so much more like freaky athletic that it's fun to watch.
It's a theater thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't go to watch the dudes in a layup line. I go to watch LeBron James take bodies.
It's literally the same. Well, never mind. It's not. I was gonna bring up what's it called now with the women football. It's not called what I want to call it. It's called something else now.
Oh, the other football league, the Legends football league,
the one that us
I don't know what you're talking
about. Yeah,
it doesn't exist. Listen,
but that's a fucking joke.
Before you get mad at me though, when was the last time any of y'all watched a WNBA game?
True. When's the last? No, start to finish.
Yeah, you didn't watch highlights. I'm saying you watched the game.
With your brother-in-law literally went and watched an NBA game.
It's correct.
In person, live.
Yeah.
Which was amazing.
It was so much fun. Except LeBron lost.
Yeah, but that was a good game.
It was a really good game. Anyway, so I just wanted to touch on that. I felt like going out, like trying to put a lawsuit to get equal pay, it just seems like too much.
When you break down...
You're doing too much. Like, you already are making...
You literally broke down the money, though.
That's all it is.
Makes sense.
Like, if the men got 23%, they would bring home, like, $5 million a person.
A player, yeah.
But it's just not the way it works, and I am sorry that
people
it is that
literally
way.
get in fist fights over these soccer games.
Real life, dog. Like it's political.
Like, I'm going to beat the shit out of you.
Hey, so let's go back to fun facts. Let's talk about football. Let's get on something a little more not controversial. Lamar Jackson, my favorite player right now, right? Listen, we got to talk about it. So he's now played 16 career starts.
Are you gonna break down his gross stats?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's played the equivalent of a full season, okay?
Right.
Wins. He has more wins than Patrick Mahomes. He has 13. Mahomes only has 12. Rush yards.
Why'd you make it sound like there was a big...
Nah, but he has more wins than Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes has played... Anyway. Rush yards. In 16 games, Lamar Jackson has 1,258 rushing yards. LaDainian Tomlinson had 1,236. Lamar Jackson has a better passer rating than Tom Brady. He has more yards per attempt than Aaron Rodgers, and he had a better completion percentage than Drew Brees.
So, I know I've always said this about Lamar, that I said he's the closest thing we'll ever get to Michael Vick. If he can stay healthy, it's not even close. Oh, by the way, remember when we talked about last week about how we talked about if Michael Vick is a Hall of Famer?
Yeah.
And I said if he doesn't make it, will he be the leaps and bounds? I looked at a list of top quarterbacks that aren't in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That are good. The only one that I recognized, there was a couple. There was Boomer Esiason, which the only one that they had a case for that should be in Boomer. There was he just shook them all. Wow. Was Phil Simms. He won 2 Super Bowls with the Giants back in the day. Other than that, a bunch of people, I could name them if I remembered them.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't. But exactly. I could name them, but I don't remember them because I don't know who the hell they are.
So, I've got a fun thing to talk about. We'll save that for later. Let's talk about some not so much fun things. So, Myles Garrett. If you don't know and you're living under a rock, allow me to update you really quick.
He tried to kill a man.
Just shut up and let me give the real version of events. Then you can chime in, and I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Attempted murder.
Oh, Jesus.
At the 10-yard line. You get what? You get 15 for that? 15?
You get 16. Listen, they add a yard for the aggressiveness. So the Browns are beating the shit out of the Steelers, 21-7. 8 seconds left to go in the game. They throw a screen. The Steelers are on offense. They throw a screen pass. They don't block Myles Garrett. He tackles the quarterback, sacks him to the ground. Tackles him to the ground. Shut up.
I'm just trying to set it up.
Mason Rudolph, while laying on the ground, tries to take off Myles Garrett's helmet and is kneeing him in the balls. Myles Garrett is
I didn't see that part.
You couldn't because it was on the other side of him. Garrett was blocking the camera. He's trying to pull his helmet off. Garrett's like, oh, and then picks Mason Rudolph off the ground with his helmet and rips it off. Then the linemen get involved. The offensive linemen are pushing Myles Garrett away. Mason Rudolph, without his helmet on, continues to run after Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett then does the unthinkable, reaches over the top of the lineman, clocks oh boy in the head with his own helmet. With his own helmet. Which, in retrospect, it's kind of funny. Like, you got beat with your own protective device.
Yeah.
Now, then, a linebacker for Cleveland runs over and knocks him down again. The quarterback, Mason Rudolph, gets run over again. He gets knocked down from behind again. Then, while Mason Rudolph's teammates are running to go help him, he gets kneed in the head by his own offensive lineman.
Screw that. Did you see what Pouncey did?
The 100% correct thing? Yes.
Gave Myles Garrett like an 8-piece and started kicking him in his head?
Yeah, while he was down. Yeah.
I've always respected Pouncey. I've always thought he was a really good center.
Good player.
He's one of my favorite players now.
Okay, but name another, like...
I know that's actually technically what your offensive linemen are supposed to do.
That's literally their job. Like, for example, when we were in high school... I know, high school stories, here we go. No, our quarterback was the kicker, and it was our junior year, and he kicked, and...
Hold on, who held for him?
The punter.
That's... all right.
We didn't have a real kicker.
You're fine. I think ours was a soccer player. It's fine.
But anyway, so they tried to block the kick, and they rolled up on him, and he got his leg bent in an awkward angle.
And it hurt.
Yeah, really bad. And his best friend was on crutches because he just had ACL surgery. So when you watch it on film, he gets rolled up on, and the dude on crutches starts crutching onto the field because he's going to go beat somebody with a crutch.
Timeout, crutchy. All right, Jesus.
I mean, it was just instinct. He thought they were doing something dirty, so he went after him. And our fullback, like, messed the kid up later because anyway, it doesn't matter. But your instinct is to go protect your quarterback.
Yeah, absolutely.
So he did the 100% right thing, and I don't think he should have got suspended.
I really don't.
He shouldn't have kicked the dude.
I told Mo, I said they should have fined him just to say they did something, but there's no way.
No, but they suspended him 3 games. The guy who knocked over the quarterback late got suspended a game. Myles Garrett is suspended indefinitely, at minimum the rest of the season. What I think is going to happen is, unfortunately, I think Skip Bayless is right. They will suspend him the rest of the season and at least 1 game next year to remind people this shit is not okay. Now, my initial thought is, holy shit, Myles Garrett is an evil bastard. He should be not banned, but he should be gone for a long time. So my position has changed slightly. There's no reason, right, wrong, or indifferent to hit somebody with a helmet. Okay, that's unacceptable, uncalled for. The punishment fits the crime. But if you are Mason Rudolph, I understand what he did was he shouldn't have tackled you late and he shouldn't have got on top of you like that. I 100% agree. Once he picks you up by your face and removes your protective gear and your big-ass linemen are between you and him, stop.
Yeah,
no. Stop.
Heat of the moment.
You're right. And what happened when Myles Garrett was in the heat of the moment? You got clocked upside your head, and you're lucky it was the underside of the helmet. Because otherwise, you'd be dead, and he would be in jail for murder. Because he got hit with the soft underside of the helmet. But what I'm saying is, your lineman had your back, and you were safe. You were on the ground, and they were moving him away. Yeah. And it's like 10 yards, bro. Like, they're pushing him back, and the quarterback runs in and gets clocked. Now,
I know what you're saying.
Myles Garrett is in the wrong, 110%. I'm not defending anything he did. However, if you run up, you are going to get messed up. And if it wasn't a helmet, he was going to get punched in the face.
Yeah, well, I would have... Personally, I would have much rather punched him in the face.
It was a bad look.
You get suspended the rest of the year no matter what you do in that situation, I think, is your Myles Garrett. Especially because, I was telling you when I got here, he's already been fined twice this year.
Yeah.
Fined $10,000 for punching Delaney Walker, him $42,000 for 2 separate hits on Trevor Siemian.
One of those hits did break Simeon's leg, and he was out for the year. I agree. Myles Garrett has played, and somebody was trying to look at it really psychologically to where, because going into his draft, they were talking about he's got a low motor, he doesn't play hard, yada yada. He's not being dirty. He's just the punching in the face I don't agree with, but he's playing really hard
trying
over
to prove
the top.
Everybody wrong,
right? And I guess I can kind of see where you're going, but my thing is, dog, if the little quarterback got under your skin that bad, why didn't you react that way when dude punched you in the face in the street?
Because it was different. Because if for instance, if he punches Mason Rudolph, that's still an athlete punching an athlete,
as opposed to
a Joe Schmo. Yeah. Could you imagine him punching somebody my height?
No.
Well, and it's literally goes back to kind of sidetrack. Remember the Terry Crews incident, where he was sexually assaulted by the director. He literally came out and said, he's like, you see me, I'm a huge guy. If you just see me haul off and nail this guy, no matter what I say, I'm still in the wrong.
Right, yeah.
So it's kind of like that where he's a big son bitch. You're like, yeah, he punched you in the face. You're Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
You probably didn't even feel it. And he's like,
he said he didn't. But so Myles Garrett should be suspended at minimum another few games next year. He could be suspended 4, and I won't be mad. He was wrong, and what he did was way over the top. However, if you I didn't.
Mason Rudolph isn't innocent, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
but it ultimately,
honestly, nobody brought this up until Max Kellerman said it, and I listened to what Max Kellerman said, and the whole time I'm like, dog, Max, you're an idiot. He's a defensive lineman. He should not be hitting somebody in the head with the helmet. And then I went back and watched the video, and I listened about what Max said, and I was like, I've taken everybody's what they've said, and I'm
put it all together for yourself.
I really feel like if Mason would have just talked shit, like you're up, leave me alone, whatever, and left it at that, fine. And then Myles Garrett takes your helmet off, cool. Dude, he was on the ground trying to pull his helmet off. The only reason he couldn't is because Myles Garrett's neck is thick as fuck, and he couldn't get the helmet off. So, you started it. Okay, the helmet's off, you should stop. He'll give you your helmet back. You've got the bodyguards with you. Stop. You kept running that dude, and my thing is, what makes you react that way? Do you think he said that word?
No, I don't.
I hope he didn't, but he is from Oklahoma State.
No, I really don't think so, because if he said that, it'd have been out there, bro. It really would have been out there.
I agree.
That'd have been the very first thing Garrett... Actually, I was telling my wife, I was talking to her about it, and that's exactly what she said. It was a white player versus a black player.
He should.
She's like, do you think he's... I was like, no. I definitely don't think that, because that'd have been the first words out of Myles Garrett's mouth. Yeah, I wouldn't have hit him, but he called me a...
Yeah. I agree.
I really don't think he said anything
and Mason
like
Rudolph looks like a ho-hum kind of guy.
And you don't have to go full on the worst words you could say. Any racial slur, that's all he would have had to say.
But he still would have been suspended indefinitely.
Yeah, but it would have been more understandable. Whereas
why he reacted that way. I find it hard to believe that nothing was said. Maybe it wasn't the N-word.
I think he probably called him a bitch.
You can't do that.
Or dirty.
Something. And why was Mason Rudolph so angry to keep escalating the situation?
Because he knew...
you know what I'm saying?
You know why? It's because he had Pouncey in was it Villanueva?
No, it wasn't Villanueva. It was the other one. I can't remember his name.
But he had them standing in between them. Bro, it's literally like, I think everyone knew this kid growing up. He had like...
Hold me back.
Yeah. It's probably that situation. Because even if you do hit Myles Garrett...
And I think part of the reason Rudolph was still conscious because Garrett had to reach over the lineman. Yeah. He couldn't get a full...
Moral of the story is...
don't hit anybody with a helmet.
Pouncey's bout it. That's all I need to say.
David DeCastro. David DeCastro was the other one. He tackles Myles Garrett. I think Eric Dickerson was saying, when you're in that moment, you're in that moment.
Yeah.
You're not registering anything else. And David DeCastro did a good job of not escalating the situation the entire time. He's backing Garrett up. When he sees Garrett swing it, he tackles him to the ground and he just lays on top of him.
That's not what Pouncey did, though.
No, Pouncey
gave him about a 5-piece and 2 kicks.
He's kicking, and again, I don't think Pouncey should have been fined or was fined yet. Suspended, no, because
I think the reason he was suspended is for the kicks. I think if he would have just punched, it wouldn't have been anything.
He did kick the dude while he was being held down.
In the head. Helmet or not,
but he was wearing a helmet. And the thing that Stephen A. was saying was like, dog, Myles Garrett, you are wearing all your protective gear, and then you decided to swing his at him. That's where Stephen A. had a real problem with it. He's
so do you want to sandwich this? Let's do a little soft, sad one, and then we can get into the other thing that I want to talk about today. Tua.
Oh yeah, Tua Tagovailoa. In the second
I'm angry
quarter,
how quick you say that.
It's Hawaiian. I like Hawaiian stuff.
Anyway, I like him.
Tua. It took me a long time to be able to say it. I didn't just roll out of bed.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
But he was tackled. They were running the 2-minute offense. Alabama was winning against Mississippi or whoever, and he was tackled from behind and dislocated his hip.
It looked like a painful hit right away.
His hip was dislocated, and I believe somebody said there's a fracture. One of the femur maybe. One doctor on Twitter, which I don't know if he was there, I don't know if he's just using his eyeballs, I have no idea, so please don't run with this, but he said it's the same injury that ended Bo Jackson's career. When a hip dislocated,
that was also back in the 80s.
Yeah, no, I know,
90s.
But it was a very severe injury.
80s and 90s?
80s, yeah.
So Yeah, I wanted to talk about that real quick because it kind of sucks. However, did you see Nick Saban's reaction?
No.
He looked pissed. I don't know if he was pissed because of the hit or pissed because Tua was hurt.
It was probably one of those, here we go again. Because Tua's literally had an injury
and you'd take him number 1 overall.
Yeah.
No.
I would.
No, it's a mistake.
Not anymore.
That's why we're here.
and not you think so?
NFL, I'm taking phone calls.
Talk. We'll run a team.
Man,
it might not be good, but we will run one. Who would our first pick this year be?
I already told you.
It's Chase Young.
Chase Young.
Yeah, 100%. Well, if we're running the Bengals.
Look,
to be fair,
so
we
the
could run the
Bengals right now
Bengals,
have
right?
the number 1 pick, right? You let Marvin Lewis coach for 1,000 years, yeah.
And he never won a playoff game.
No, not one time.
To be fair,
you know
the chance he had to win a playoff game, Carson Palmer tore his ACL.
You know who else still coaching in the NFL that doesn't win playoff games? Jason Garrett.
Up top. All right, so that is sad, and I hope he makes full recovery.
I definitely think he comes back next year. You don't really have a choice.
No, he's gonna go to the NFL.
You think so?
Yep, he'll go, and it'll be like, for example, if he can't play by the draft or whatever, like if it's a fracture and he has to miss the draft and the workouts, it'll be like a Jalen Smith situation. You draft him, you hide him somewhere on the bench, and then you have a potentially great quarterback coming out in 2 years that's on a cheap contract.
This literally costs him millions of dollars.
Millions.
That's why I think he comes back.
To get hurt more?
Sure.
No, because he has 2 options.
Think he's going to Sam Bradford it? Get hurt again? Because he came back?
He could. But what I think he has if he doesn't get drafted, if he doesn't go in the draft, he will come back and sit next year. He won't play.
Oh, then yeah, you definitely have to go to the draft.
Right.
All right. So now it's time for me to be angry again.
Colin Kaepernick.
Absolutely. So you don't know.
Colin Kaepernick was offered a workout this weekend by today. We are recording this on the Saturday, November 16th. Sorry, I got distracted. Saturday, November 16th, Colin Kaepernick was given a workout by the NFL in Atlanta, Georgia.
Which, by the way, they're giving Jay-Z like all the credit.
Yes, they are. Because Jay-Z
you also
a month
caught
ago,
all the shit for joining the NFL.
Right. Because people thought he was selling out and they were talking about taking the black card away. Maybe
he's an entrepreneur and he's out there trying to get money.
Probably also true. But so he was offered a workout. They told him on Tuesday, the NFL called Colin Kaepernick's agent, said, hey, there's a workout for Colin Kaepernick Saturday at 3 o'clock in Atlanta, Georgia. Be there.
26 teams.
25, 26. I've heard different numbers, but over 24 we're going to go.
Yeah, let's just ballpark and say over 20.
Over 20 we're going to go. 7 called him on Tuesday and said, hey, we can't go. We have other things. We can't make it that day. Sorry. The workout was going to be, the NFL was going to supply the receivers. The NFL was going to, there was going to be an interview process. All of it was going to be taped, and they were going to send the tapes to all 32 teams.
As you can tell by the way you're talking, that's not how it went today.
So, Colin Kaepernick, 3 hours before...
Not 3 days.
No, not 3 years, not 3 weeks, not 3 hours, before the scheduled workout, decided there was the NFL wanted him to sign a waiver, I assume, meaning if he got hurt, he couldn't sue them. Seems pretty reasonable. He didn't want to do it. He also wanted it to be live streamed, and there were a couple other odds and ends. He wanted to bring his own receivers, which they were fine with, but he didn't want to use the ones he was provided, I guess, or something. There was a couple things, but mostly it was this waiver he didn't want to sign. And it wasn't going to be, the media wasn't going to be allowed in. There was going to be the interview set. It was all going to be held in-house.
So he wanted the media involved.
Yes, and they didn't. And then he decided he was going to move the workout like a few hours, maybe an hour down the road or something, to a high school where he held the workout. I don't know how many teams went. I don't know if it was the same turnout.
I hope none went.
I don't think that's true. I'm sure some teams showed up. But the way Stephen A. made it sound is that nobody showed up, and he could have, because Stephen A. said the reason they did this was because there were NFL teams who wanted to sign Colin Kaepernick. But they were afraid that if we say we're bringing Colin Kaepernick in for a workout, and it turns out that he's not in shape.
Baltimore?
Any of them. Baltimore, Denver, Miami, whoever. They were afraid that if they bring him in and he doesn't look good and they don't sign him, that the fallback was going to be that they didn't like him because of the flag stuff or because of race or whatever. So they were like, look, can we get cover? The NFL's like, sure. All these teams are coming. It's a positive thing, and it looks like the NFL's trying to support Kaepernick.
Oh, you mean the NFL did the right thing?
Yes.
Yep.
and then Cap spit in their face.
Oh, like with a whole full.
Gross. And then decided to take it into his own hands.
Yep.
And I think that...
Say it.
It's fake,
he doesn't want to play.
No, he doesn't want to play, man.
No, and I'm pissed off. Because this whole time, bro, up until he got that settlement from the NFL, this whole time, I supported him 1,000%. Because what did I always tell you? There's no way there's 64 quarterbacks in the NFL that are better than Colin Kaepernick. There's no way.
There aren't. There
still
aren't.
There still aren't.
And even
did you see him throwing?
Yeah.
He's still got a good deep ball.
One scout said his arm talent is still elite, and he looks the exact same as he did coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that, and the thing that bugs a lot of people is that the NFL teams put up with shit like Josh Gordon.
Right.
Still gets opportunities.
Yep.
If you're talented enough, you get opportunities.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah. So people were like,
well, how does the Patriots sign him for a week? But whatever.
How does Colin Kaepernick not have a job if that's the case?
Probably because the dude doesn't want to play.
He doesn't want it. He wants to look like he wants to play so he can play the woe is me card and get Nike commercials.
Stephen A. literally said it. He wants to be a fucking martyr.
That's all he wants.
I am so mad.
You should be.
I was a Colin Kaepernick fan, diehard, and I thought it had anything to do with the fact that he
should have won you a Super Bowl.
Played for San Francisco. I mean, obviously a little bit, but because when he originally started doing the knee, it was for a good cause. It wasn't against the flag or anything like all these people try to say. And it was to bring notice to a very huge problem with our society.
So I asked somebody about this. I was like, so it's somebody who doesn't watch a lot of football, doesn't watch sports, only gets things secondhand. Right? And so I was like, hey, look, we were talking about politics. Right? And I was like, I have a question. How do you feel like with this Colin Kaepernick taking the knee a couple years ago? What did you think about that? He's like, what did he say? It was something along the lines of, they don't stand for what I stand for. And I'm like, but he wasn't doing it at the flag. He was doing it because police brutality, and he felt like we weren't living up to what the flag represents. So he didn't feel like he should stand for it. And he was like, yeah, but taking a knee isn't respectful. I'm like, but he was told by veterans on his team, the most respectful thing you can do if you're not going to stand is to take a knee.
Take a knee.
And like, if a player is injured, what do?
Take a knee.
You take a knee. So why is it disrespectful to take a knee for the flag, but respectful to take a knee for an injured player?
Right.
It's not a flag thing. And everybody made it out that way. And people who don't care about what he's talking about or standing up, kneeling for, the only people who I've talked to happen to be white and happen to be, middle upper class citizens. The only thing they saw and the only thing that they thought about was, he's not standing for the flag, I don't watch football anymore. And he said the main thing was, it wasn't that just one guy was taking a knee. It was that when the whole teams were taking a knee, that it was like,
wouldn't come out for the national anthem.
Oh, those people don't stand for what I stand for. No. If you stand for equality in this country, you stand for the same thing they stand for.
Let me ask you something. When you watch a football game on TV and the national anthem's playing, do you stand up in your house?
No.
So you're disrespectful too then. When was the last time you've ever been in a Super Bowl party and everyone stood up for the national anthem? These people are hypocrites, first of all. And I'm not being mean to anybody, whoever it is you're referencing. I'm glad you didn't put a name out there.
Right.
You don't know what the hell... you don't even know what he's standing for.
It's uneducated.
Not standing for.
Right. It's
but
misinformation.
Is that what he was fucking doing? Now.
No.
This right here brings into question everything he's done since then.
Since then, yes. Because what he was doing then is for real.
Maybe.
No. Here's the thing. And we touched on this.
Or does he just want to get his fucking name out there and get paid for being... Again, Stephen A., being a martyr. You want to be paid for being a martyr. You know what I wanted to talk about today when we got here?
What's that, Doug?
Who did I think was potentially going to sign Colin Kaepernick?
None of them, no.
I hope not. I hope he has to sink so low, he's playing in the XFL or the Canadian Football League.
Because he doesn't want to play football, bro. He talks about all this stuff, but if... And Stephen A. said... when it came out, that this workout, he's obviously well informed. He's like, he will not be asked about kneeling or the flag or any of that stuff. They just want to know if he wants to play football.
Right, and he doesn't.
That's all. And he did it. He
so disappointed, bro.
Yeah, he did a whole rah-rah speech at the end. He's like, I'm ready. I'm always ready. I stay ready.
I feel like he let his real fans down.
He has to.
And anybody that doesn't understand how selfish of a move that this was, that genuinely think he really wants to, took his, the interview that we watched literally right before we started recording. I don't believe a fucking word he says.
It sounds nice. What he's saying,
it sounds rehearsed.
But what it is why go through all this stuff? You talk about if the whole message he's been putting out for the last 3 years is, I'm ready to play, I want to play football, the only thing I want to do is play football. You are given the golden ticket. All you got to do is show up and ball. Stephen A. said if he shows up to this workout, he will have a job within 2 weeks.
He literally said that, yep.
And he didn't just say that today. He was talking about that early this week when we found out.
Yep.
He's like, if he shows up, he will have a job within 2 weeks.
Yep.
All he's got to do is show up and play well.
Yep.
And
he might not have played this year.
No, but he would have had, somebody was going to
He'd have been on a roster, yeah.
And Stephen A. said, the only thing I want him to do is show up. And he couldn't even do that. He didn't want to sign a waiver saying that for the NFL covering their ass, that if he tears his ACL, they're not going to sue the NFL. And it was at a state-of-the-art Atlanta Falcons practice facility.
Yep.
Instead, he went to a high school.
Over what? No media coverage?
Yeah.
Because you know what's not important to you? Playing football. Right. You know what is important to you? Getting your face in front of cameras.
He wanted it live streamed on YouTube, like you and I get to decide if he plays.
You know who doesn't sign contracts?
Us.
Me and you.
Right. And I would. I'll sign all the contracts. I'll sign.
But I'm saying, you know what I mean?
And if it really was, so the NFL was like, hey, dog, we just don't want to get sued. He's already sued him once.
Yeah.
They're doing their right.
For what? Defamation?
And also, he went to a high school field that's probably natural grass.
Yeah.
You had an indoor, no wind, no perfect conditions. All you had to do was show up. And you decide, nah, I'm not going to sign this waiver. There's not enough media coverage for me. I got to go where I can be seen.
Yep.
It's weak, bro.
Yep.
Anyway, let's talk about something else.
One last thing.
Yeah, go for it.
You threw away an opportunity people would literally give almost anything for.
Lots of people.
A lot of people.
The NFL not and people,
how many people? How many coulda, shoulda, wouldas?
Yeah.
For instance, would have given anything to have 26 teams, 20
on
plus
a Saturday afternoon.
They send people out there to watch you do your thing.
No, it might not.
And there's before this happened, before the whole thing, there was like a 85% chance he was going to get signed.
Easy.
This is less than 5% now. Unless you're like a Miami that literally has nothing to lose.
The Bengals. I don't know. It's gone. Anyway.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I just want, I'm
stupid.
Thoroughly disappointed, and I consider myself, I'm no longer a Colin Kaepernick fan. It started to wane after the lawsuit, simply because it just seemed like a cash grab to me. You weren't going to win anything by it.
Right.
And now...
Yeah, it's disappointing as hell for sure. So let's go back real quick to the Myles Garrett thing that everybody kept talking about. I've never seen anything like this before. I can't believe it. Not necessarily a player taking off some player's helmet and then beating same player with it. That one's different. But I do remember in 2006, it was Miami versus Florida International. And I remembered Miami because they always do shit like this. I didn't remember the other team. I had to look it up. But it was in 2006. There was a brawl, dog.
Yeah.
And a guy, I remember he came off the bench. Because of the benches, both teams' benches were on the field. He had his helmet in his hand and was swinging his helmet like an axe.
I remember that.
But it was his own helmet.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a little different. But that specific helmet swinging thing, I remembered that. So let's talk about something funny.
Please.
So the NBC,
I need to cheer up.
NBC News put out this thing. It's NBC, ESPN, all of them put out 32 one-hit wonders for every NFL team.
Okay.
Which I thought was kind of funny. Some of them I don't know. Like for the Dallas Cowboys, it's Clint Longley. He came in and had a game-winning touchdown for Dallas in 1974, but then he only threw 24 more passes the rest of the year, or for the rest of his career. New York Giants, David Tyree, the helmet catch. That's a one-hit wonder, right? Everybody remembers him. A.J. Feely was 4-1 for the Eagles in 2002. That's so crazy.
Or McNabb?
No.
Yeah, it was for McNabb, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize he played in 2002. When was he drafted?
McNabb?
Yeah. 2000?
No, it might have been late 90s.
It was 98, the year before Peyton?
You think so?
That's crazy.
No, it might have been the same year, bro.
Yeah?
I think so.
And the Chargers took Ryan Leaf.
Leaf.
Timmy Smith for the Redskins. Let me see. It says, after previous solid showings in playoff games on the morning of Super Bowl, they named him the starter, but no one told him because they were afraid he would freak out. And he rushed for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns in a 42-10 win against the Broncos in 1988.
So instead of telling him, you just like game day, his name's on the board, and he's like, okay.
And then he only had 476 yards combined in the rest of his NFL career.
I will say, though, the best game to have would be the Super Bowl.
You got the ring, so what does it matter? For the Bears, it's Rashaan Salam. That's
running back.
Yep, Heisman Trophy winner at Colorado. He had 10 touchdowns his rookie year.
And that's it.
Yep. Wow.
Another case of just because you win the Heisman doesn't mean shit.
Correct. For the Detroit Lions, Joseph Faria had 7 touchdowns as a rookie. In 2013, he was undrafted.
Wouldn't you think... All right, so let's take a side note about the Heisman. Wouldn't you think they'd be a little more selective about who they give that to now?
Because they don't go on and have success in the NFL? No.
To me, it kind of cheapens what it means to be a Heisman Trophy winner.
But if you think about it, I bet 70... maybe it's not that high. 60% of people who watch college football only watch college football.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, the people who watch the NFL...
They do that whole... It's more exciting thing, which I will give it to them. It is.
And it's the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, anyway... So, for the Detroit Lions, it was this tight end. Joseph Faria had 7 touchdowns his rookie year. He had a game against the Browns where he had 18 receptions for 207 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That's nonsense. That's one game?
Right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, then he tripped over his dog and had an ankle injury in 2004. Missed the whole season.
Come on.
He then... Oh, that's what he said. Then it actually turns out he heard it playing volleyball, and he was cut in 2015.
That's unfortunate.
Green Bay Packers, Jeff Janis, in 2016. Jeff Janis. He had 7 catches, 145 yards, and 2 touchdowns in a divisional playoff game against Arizona. He caught the game-winning Hail Mary, and then he only caught 13 passes for the next 2 seasons.
See, but some of these guys, I do wonder, is that their fault? Or did they just not get the play time after that? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Some of these guys, I feel like it's not all their fault.
Brian Russell, safety for the Vikings in 2003, had 9 interceptions that season. But after that, he was moved to free safety in 2004 and had two interceptions in 1 regular season game, another in the playoffs. But then by 2003, he was with Cleveland and played with 5 teams over a 9-year career. So he kind of wasn't bad, middle of the road safety.
I mean, he kept getting jobs.
Right, so that's not terrible, right? Atlanta Falcons, Quentin Mccord. He was a 7th-round pick out of Kentucky.
You can't just make up names, bud.
Quentin. He caught, in a game against the Lions, he had 7 passes for 182 yards and a touchdown, and he didn't start. He came off the bench, and then only caught 23 passes that season, for the rest of the season. None of these guys make any sense. The main one, the Steve Spurlock.
Michael Spurlock. Steve Spurlock's that dude that did the... what fucking documentary is that? Super Size Me.
Oh, all right. Some of these
Which, by the way, is a crock of shit.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah.
No.
Yep. There's another documentary on Netflix that he literally does the same thing.
Yeah.
And he's fine. He actually loses weight. Because he still works out. Why would you change your whole life
and not do anything?
Yeah. So, and he literally, doctors in this one were mad because he was proving them wrong. Because people try to always say you can't live off fast food and still be healthy, and that's not true. You just have to outwork.
Yeah.
Outwork your
you have
calorie.
To outwork,
it has to be calories out versus calories in.
And if I use air quotes, if you eat healthy, like if you go and have grilled chicken instead of a quarter pounder, and if you don't eat french fries and have the fruit they offer, you can not make a healthy meal out of it, but you can make it better.
But also the reason why he was Actually, it's Morgan Spurlock. I'm sorry. I just remember what his real name is.
Morgan.
But I found out...
Who the hell is Steve Spurlock?
We just made him up.
I'm Googling Steve right now.
But if you actually look into it, he wouldn't release his food diary, like what he actually ate the whole time. From
the original one?
He wouldn't release a lot of shit, which brought into question pretty much everything he said. So
interesting. I did not know that. So Steve Spurlock is a real guy, I guess. He's a counsel. Merry Christmas to counsel, I guess. Here's one for you. Does this name Chris Borland remind you of anybody?
Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah, he retired after his rookie season because he wanted to.
Yeah, football didn't.
He didn't want to. He had 107 tackles.
I was really. He retired the same year Patrick Willis
did. Yeah, your whole defense.
So not only did we lose Patrick Willis, we also lost a really good replacement.
Yeah, it wasn't good for you. The other one I wanted to get to was
Jonas Gray?
Oh, Jonas Gray. He had 4 touchdowns and 200 yards.
What happened to him? Why he?
He was late to the facility once, and that was it.
Coach Belichick doesn't fuck around with lateness.
Which may be why Malcolm Butler sat.
Yep. Pepperoni and cheese.
I remember Stephen Hill. He was drafted by the Jets, and I remember his combine. He was 6'4". He ran a 4.36 in the 40. He came out of Georgia Tech, so they thought he was going to be Calvin Johnson, and he was not. He could not catch to save his life. They traded up to take Stephen Hill, and they could have had Alshon Jeffrey, who's still playing in the NFL, and they could have had Bobby Wagner.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, woof. Where is the Browns? Here it is. Peyton Hillis.
Oh, gosh.
13 touchdowns in 2010.
How many rushing yards did he have that year, too? He had over 1,000, right?
Yeah, he had 1,654.
He literally got on the cover of Madden and then just vamoosed.
Yeah, after...
what happened to him?
The ensuing offseason, he was unsuccessful in negotiating a contract extension. Injuries disrupted his 2011 campaign. The Browns let him walk as a free agent in 2011. He played 3 more seasons, never totaling more than 310 rushing yards. How about that for a drop-off? 1,300-yard drop-off. It says he was traded from Denver for a 6th-round pick and Brady Quinn. So you traded a bag of chips and Brady Quinn for Peyton Hillis.
Who gave you 1 year and was on the Madden cover. So, I mean...
Tommy Maddox for the Steelers had 20 touchdowns. Yep.
He wasn't bad.
He was the starter in 2003. And in 2004, they had Ben Roethlisberger.
I think Cordell Stewart went down with an injury, and Tommy Maddox played. I think Ben Roethlisberger ended up taking Tommy Maddox's spot because I think that was the year they let Cordell walk and he went to Chicago.
Ah, okay. Interesting.
Why do I remember dumb shit like that?
That's impressive, though, because that's something usually I would remember. Hey,
But you know what? Can't remember for the life of me what I had for dinner yesterday.
That's okay.
But
you remember that. So let's talk about... So if you guys also have been living under a rock, and more positive news, Disney Plus came out.
I already have it.
Yeah.
I have it.
It's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's only going to get better. So it's obviously...
The package that I have is
Disney,
Hulu,
the ESPN.
ESPN Plus is a joke. I'm going to say it right now.
Really?
Ain't shit on there.
You get all the UFC fights. You get games.
Well, as of right, you know what I was hanging up Christmas lights for my wife a little early. I know, but
a lot early.
Yeah, I know.
Go on.
I was like, all right, I'm gonna put a football game on while I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I figure I'll get a little football in. No football games. I ended up watching Brown versus somebody else. I don't remember who else it was. It was football.
They don't on a Sunday?
No. It was a Saturday game, yeah. It's Brown versus somebody. And Brown was so much better than they were. First drive, the quarterback fumbled. They took it back for a touchdown. I was like, all right. That's what we're doing. I think the only reason I'm going to use it is for UFC fights.
And they have, and
it's free.
They have detail, like Kobe Bryant breaking down basketball, Peyton Manning breaking down football.
I'll probably watch those, yeah. But, as far as games are concerned...
Really? That's stupid. But Disney Plus is fantastic.
Disney Plus.
Did you watch The Mandalorian?
I need to watch it. Yeah,
bro, watch it.
Apparently, there's a baby Yoda.
Dog, fucking spoiler alert.
I don't care. It was on Facebook. It's fine.
It's not Yoda.
But a baby Yoda.
It's a Yoda race.
I want one.
I'm pretty sure.
Can I have it?
It's the cutest thing of all time.
Buy me one.
Okay. I'll paint Squish green. You can have her.
Can I put the ears on?
Absolutely. So, The Mandalorian is fantastic. It takes place after Return of the Jedi.
Does it?
Yeah, after Return of the Jedi, before Episode 7.
So, I saw an article
Fett.
that I didn't want to read because it was spoilery.
Mm-hmm.
Spoilery.
I haven't watched Episode 2 yet. I'm going to watch that tomorrow.
But the article said, is this Disney's worst thing that they've done to George Lucas?
Yeah,
Star Wars?
I didn't read. I saw that article.
Have they watched Episode 8? Because that was pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't understand how. Because The Mandalorian, I think because The Mandalorian was, I think Midwestern with laser beams instead of guns.
Here's what it is. When you think of Star Wars, you want to see Jedis. Let's be honest.
Sure.
That's why I think that's honestly
but
why
it was still captivating.
The Solo movie was trash, and
Rogue One
was trash.
Except for when Vader showed up at the end.
Oh, that's the only reason to watch it. It's just like in spoiler alert if you haven't seen the Solo movie, Darth Maul shows up at the end.
Yeah, but he doesn't do anything.
Doesn't have to.
No, he just has to be there.
I mean, when one of your main stars is Emilia Clarke, I mean, what else did you expect? The movie's gonna be trash. She can't act her way out of a paperback.
Yes, she can.
No, she can't.
Yes, she can.
You know why she sounds so good on Game of Thrones? It's because she's speaking a made-up language. It's easy to act when no one understands what you're actually saying. It's fine.
Nah, man, she does that role. She does great.
Speaking of Game of Thrones, I've read the books.
Yeah,
so much better than the show.
Oh, of course.
But I also tried to read. Can't remember what the hell the name of it is. The Targaryen book that he wrote.
Yes,
Fire and something.
Yeah. No.
I try to read it. I recommend reading through till Aegon dies because it's fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I heard they're talking about they canceled the other show they were going to do.
Really?
The First Men, like way back in the day. But they're talking about doing this one, the Targaryens, which is fine. But like, if you had a problem, if you watch the show and incest bothers you, don't watch it. It is a lot of Targaryen on Targaryen just.
Yeah.
So it's Aegon and then there's Mccord.
Okay.
Other
Can't just
than
make
that,
names up, fella.
Aegon and Mccord are two totally different people. Like literally, what is so? I heard that what is her name? Cersei says when a
Targaryen dies is a coin flip.
Coin flip.
Corn flip.
Corn flip. I feel like
it's the same.
I feel like
Coin.
fucking he heard that, or maybe it's in the books. I don't remember. Those books are big, man.
Yeah.
I feel like he heard that because literally every other Targaryen, they're either a piece of shit or a great. Aegon is the greatest, and then Mccord. Oh shit! I'll let you borrow the book if you ever have time to read it. I've literally made it like halfway through, bro. It's literally just a reiteration, like the whole time. It's literally good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. It's all right, but the books are way better.
Yeah, for sure.
And he's supposed to put out the next one this year.
Yeah, right.
Or not this year, next year. Literally said it's coming out next year.
Yeah, whatever. I'll believe it when I see it. Anyway,
if it does, I'm gonna talk about it.
If you don't have Disney Plus, get it. It's going to be so much better. The Mandalorian, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's got a lot of good Disney movies on it. All the Marvel movies are on there. They've got some National Geographic, but I don't watch that.
Screw that. Screw all of what you just said.
Oh.
The old school movies?
Yeah,
all the kids' movies?
Out of the vault.
So I saw this.
They got the new ones, too.
I saw this picture. It was that picture of Billy Madison. Remember when he's in kindergarten?
Yeah.
And he's like me when Disney Plus is online. Just like a little kids and it's him. Bro, yeah. I got it first day.
You should definitely get it.
Yeah.
Disney Plus is going to be amazing. And Netflix, you are going to be canceled as soon as I get done with Supernatural. You're out.
Where are you at?
Season 7. I got a lot left.
You got a lot.
I'm almost done with season 7. I'm on like 23 or 24 of season 7.
Is your wife, is she up to where it is on the show?
When we started watching it, she finished season 12.
Oh, God.
Yeah, bro.
I'm going to tell you this. Season 14, I finished it.
Yeah.
Right?
There's 2 seasons left after that, right?
No. 15 is on now, and it's it.
Oh.
When I tell you there was a moment that okay, you know me.
Yeah, I do. You cried like a baby.
Sobbed Like a motherfucker, dog. Not Naruto bad. Naruto got me really bad. With
Hitachi?
Hitachi got
Which
me
time?
like a motherfucker.
Which time?
When he told Sasuke no matter what he does, he loves him.
And you hugged him?
Okay. I was like, you son of a bitch. This is an anime. Why? I'm feeling all the feels. And it's even better because you have to read the subtitles.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, English dubs, kind of terrible.
The English dub isn't very good.
But, yeah. I want to tell you so bad because I'm really not a bitch for it. I promise you. Like, the way they set it up and everything that happens.
No. See, the difference is you're only a bitch for crying, not for the reasons you cry. Don't cry.
I tried not to. But watch a show for 14 years.
Were you ugly crying?
No.
You said sob.
I may have over-exaggerated.
Look, the one time Game of Thrones, hello? The one time Supernatural made me cry, or almost made me cry, was not because of the show. So, the end of season 1, right? Last episode, I think, of season 1.
When they get T-boned?
Yeah. So, I'm sitting here with my wife watching the show. After work, after you shower, I'm chilling. My hand was resting on places. The car gets hit, and it scared me, and I
You squeezed yourself.
Yeah, it wasn't great, dog.
For those of you that don't know what Supernatural is, it's a TV show that's been on since 2005. It's ending in 2020.
Ooh. All right, sorry about that. Slight distraction there.
For those of you that don't know about Supernatural, please watch it. Well, unless you're like super duper religious and you don't like.
No, even if you are, watch it. I
am very surprised that you and your wife enjoy it.
Love it.
Okay, we'll wait till later. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyway, so it's that time of the week where we talk about the dumb stuff Skip Bayless says now.
I avoid him like the plague.
It's okay. It's a little shorter than.
I respect you more as a man because you shoulder this for us.
Not only do I shoulder it, I'm trying to cut back on because I do pick out a lot of dumb stuff he says. Mostly because he says a lot of stupid shit, but mostly we're gonna stick to the bigger things he says. But can I get an F in the chat for he wants Lamar Jackson as MVP? And as we said at the beginning of the year, if Skip Bayless endorses it, I do not.
I disagree. Don't get me wrong. Lamar's been playing out of his mind.
Who should be the MVP?
Russell Wilson.
Nope, not according to him.
Whatever.
We'll get to. Listen, we're gonna get to more of that.
How many times, for instance, has Lamar led a drive
to win the game?
No. Called his own place.
Oh, just never.
How many times has Russell Wilson done it this year?
One.
That's all you need.
That's how many MVPs he should win. So, do you remember last week LeBron didn't play very well, but still ended up with a triple-double. He had 13, 11, like 15 assists.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Well, Skip ate him up. LeBron didn't have an impact on the game. He took too many shots and missed a bunch. He wasn't playing well. Kawhi this last week had 12 points.
Here we go.
2 for 11 shooting.
That's a good game.
A great game. 11 boards. Not bad, double-double. 9 assists because he's a facilitator now. 9 turnovers. He almost had a quad with turnovers.
You know what that sounds like? Sounds like a Russell Westbrook stat line.
He made 2 baskets the whole game. He had 9 turnovers. And Skip was talking about how much he had an impact on the game.
What did I say? What did we say? I think we both agreed. Kawhi is getting a lot of hype for not a lot of action. Don't get me wrong. He is a huge part of Toronto winning.
He's the reason they won.
Yeah.
You took out DeMar DeRozan. You put in Kawhi Leonard. You won a championship. You were fortunate to do so. It took the luckiest shot of all time.
No. Sure. But it also took the fortune of the gods.
Yeah.
KD goes down. Clay goes down.
Twice in that series.
Come on now.
So, I agree. You can't be the best player in the world doing load management 8 games into a season. If you want to do it, I will give you after the midway point.
After the All-Star break.
There's 20 games left after the All-Star break. Take some games off if you must.
Especially if you've already locked the playoff?
Absolutely. If, maybe 50 games in, you got a back-to-back and you're in Memphis, take a night off. Cool. 8 games in a season, absolutely unacceptable, first of all. Second of all, you have 9 turnovers. LeBron, just after the game after that, had 15 assists with 2 turnovers. Now, I know they're not the same. Oh, but Kawhi does everything better than LeBron James, according to Charles Barkley.
The only thing Kawhi does better than LeBron is defense.
His shooting percentages are better right now.
So?
I'm just saying.
Who would you rather have?
It's not
take your personal feelings for LeBron
Kawhi.
out. You'd rather have Kawhi than LeBron James?
For how long? This season? LeBron. For 3 or 4 years? Kawhi probably.
Because he's younger?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Although I don't know how many games we can get out of him. Lazy piece of...
Whoa!
He's the bench, okay, in that game that Kawhi had a terrible game, the bench outscored the starters 56-42. Kawhi played 35 minutes.
That's a lot for him, right?
Yeah, his average is 34. So
One more minute.
It's a little more than his average. But they said in a game LeBron James has played 35 minutes, the bench has never outscored the starters.
So hold on. So did Skip have anything to say about that?
Yeah, the Kawhi Leonard was still better than LeBron and playing better.
No. About the bench outscoring. Because remember, didn't he have a huge problem with the Lakers doing that? Was it the Lakers?
Yeah, but the bench didn't outscore the starters. They just had they had more bench points than the other team.
Oh, but you relied on your bench to win the game.
Yeah. No, he had nothing to say that. And that's the shit that bugs me. Anyway, let's go to the Cowboys. So,
how about them boys?
So, the Cowboys, if you don't know, played an amazing game against the Minnesota Vikings. They had the chance to win the game. They were down 14-0.
Your mom beat me in fantasy because of that game.
Amari Cooper?
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Thought I had her because I had Zeke, but no.
No. Zeke had a rough game. He had 14 carries for
I wish she would show the fuck up.
That you are not the only one.
I have him and Dalvin Cook. I should be able to beat everyone with just them two.
You are right. Wow.
And Melvin Gordon III on my bench.
God.
Nobody had him because he wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So I was like,
the only thing that rivals your running backs are my quarterbacks.
I'll trade you Zeke Elliott for a bag of chips right now.
A bag of chips? Yeah. I got pretzels.
Why is that even better? You like pretzels?
No.
What?
The chips are way better than pretzels.
Okay, what kind of chips?
Any chip is better than any pretzel.
Bullshit.
Okay, the only chip that isn't as good as pretzels is corn chips. I hate corn chips.
Like Fritos?
Yeah.
What about chili cheese Fritos?
They're passable.
They're better than like Ruffles.
What kind of Ruffles though? Like flavored Ruffles? No,
like regular Ruffles.
Yeah, but plain chips, unless like Lay's.
All right, if you're in the chip aisle.
Yeah.
Your wife says, "I'll let you treat yourself. You
Doritos.
get a bag of chips." Regular
or Cool Ranch?
I don't like Cool Ranch.
Really?
I had a bad experience.
You ate too many of them?
No, I had a bad experience as a kid. I didn't understand that if you leave the bag open, they get stale.
Yeah.
When I tell you a stale bag of Cool, it literally tastes like somebody licked all the flavor. Bro, I was such a dumb little kid. I thought
eating them?
I thought that's what happened. I thought somebody licked the flavor off and put the fucking chip back in the bag.
Yeah,
no. The dumb things you believe as a kid.
So, for real. So
you go for nacho cheese?
Yeah, pretty much. But see, mostly because I usually, if I'm going to buy chips, I'm buying them with a dip of some kind. Cheese, like we make taco dip or chili dip. Like
tell the people that you don't eat tacos. What? Every time I would see you at work, you're like, oh yeah, they ate tacos, but you were eating it with chips. Do you eat tacos?
You okay? Listen. I will eat a taco. When I'm telling you I eat tacos, my family makes tacos. They make a bunch of taco meat, taco seasoning, and then mostly it's taco salad. Make salads or
I fucking love
tortillas.
Taco salad.
Nah, I don't care. I don't eat salad. But
it's not salad.
When I'm saying I eat tacos,
shit.
I eat a bowl of taco meat with Doritos. Okay, that's what I call it. But I do eat real tacos. Like I just ordered tacos this weekend. They're delicious. I love tacos.
I had tacos on
queso fresco. Okay.
I had tacos on Taco Tuesday this week. I was so proud of myself.
He did. He sent me a video of it and everything. But what I'm saying is, okay, you go Doritos top tier, obviously. Anything else is
the only thing I don't like about Doritos is it gives you Dorito breath.
True, Dorito breath is
it's
rough.
Amazing eating it, but don't plan on like having an interview after you eat Doritos.
All of this to say, pretzels just make my mouth dry.
Yeah, that's why you have something to drink.
But, okay.
Who doesn't have a drink when they eat?
I have a drink, but you have to drink water. Otherwise, it's not satisfying. The pretzels dry your mouth out so bad.
They do. But they're fucking good.
They're not better than chips.
Some chips.
I will take corn chips out of it. I will take any chip over pretzel.
You know what chip isn't good? Cheddar and sour cream. You know why? TJ.
TJ does eat cheddar and sour cream chips. That's all he eats.
We have a boss, or at my old job, that literally eats the same thing for lunch every day. Yeah, I know. That's what I said.
You said your old job.
No, your old job.
My old job.
Whatever.
Anyway, his name is TJ.
There.
My favorite thing is he's got a white spot on the back of his head, and Mark, he was like, look at this stupid white spot on the back of his head like a cat. I bet he's got an old lady at home called Shishay.
Fishing lure tattoo on his leg.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a fishing lure.
And he likes Notre Dame.
No, anyway, let's go back to... He also sits cross-legged on the floor.
A grown man, like a 6-foot grown man with no shoulders, sits cross-legged.
He really doesn't have any shoulders. Hey, let's go back to the chips. So, a couple weeks ago, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago now, we came home from we went to my mom's house to watch a football game. She made...
Who'd you watch?
Notre Dame, I think.
That's sad.
Or a Bears game. I don't remember. We were watching one of the two teams watch a football game. She made chip dip. She had spicy nacho cheese Doritos. Not bad. Usually I go for regular. She had bought spicy. I was like, I'll eat them.
I think I've had them like one time.
They're good. They're really good.
They're all right.
They're not super spicy. And with the chip dip she makes, they got sour cream in it, and they were really well together. It was so delicious. I smashed that bag of chips and the rest of the dip when I got home, right? Well, my wife, being the lovely lady she is, went to the store, and she wanted to buy... She was like, I want to buy you chips. So I bought you chips. Dog. She bought the hottest fucking chips in the whole world. She gets home. She's like, hey, babe, I bought you chips. And then the Doritos Blaze chips. And I was
gosh.
I was like, babe, why would you buy those? She's like, well, last time we had the spicy ones. I was like,
yeah,
we had spicy nacho cheese. She's like, there were so many spicy ones, I didn't know which one to pick.
Like, definitely not these.
So she was like, so I just picked the ones that Blaze sounded cool. I was like, babe, on the back of the bag, it says it's like licking a volcano. And you thought that was the cool one? And she was like, I'm sorry. I was like, no, it's fine. And so she ate one. She's like, oh. I'm like, yeah, she smelled the bag and her eyes started watering. I'm like, yeah, babe, those are hot.
You're going to eat one, huh?
Those are hot.
I like sweet chili. The purple bag?
Spicy, but very good. Sweet chili is very good.
I can't have a bag.
Because you eat the whole bag? I have that problem with you ever had the Smart popcorn? The white cheddar?
Yeah. I buy them on a Friday. It never makes it to Monday. Ever in my life.
It makes it to Saturday?
No.
Dog, I have to buy the small bag because if I buy the full size, because I will eat the entire thing.
That's why mine makes it to Sunday, because I buy the big bag.
I can't.
Because I hate myself.
Dog, they're so
It's
delicious.
one of those things that you just eat and you just don't realize how much of it you've eaten until you go to fold the bag over. Oh my God.
It's all gone. Holy shit. Smart popcorn. White cheddar
White
flavor.
cheddar is probably, to me, my go-to. Either I like Cheez-Its. White cheddar.
See, okay. Well, I know I liked you for a reason. Obviously delicious. My wife...
Don't you say it.
Yep. Cheese nips.
Who eats cheese nips?
Let me ask you this, dog.
I don't even...
Where can you find cheese nips? I'll tell you where. It's not a place you want to frequent, okay? It's the ghetto. You go to you have to go to the Kroger, and not the nice Kroger down the road. You have to go to the Kroger where, like, the R isn't on all the way.
Yeah.
And you know that when you go in there, the floor is, like, not tan, but, like
for some reason,
sticky.
For some reason, all of the cash registers have that bulletproof glass around them.
Right, and the razors are behind the glass too. Yeah, you have to go to one of those.
All of the workers have fucking.
It might
guns.
not be Kroger, dog. It might be one of those Dollar Generals that's like off-brand Dollar General. Anyway, don't eat cheese nips.
Cheese nips. They only have one flavor.
Yeah, she likes whales better than goldfish.
What? Yeah. What's your favorite flavor of goldfish? Does it matter?
Probably the extreme blast.
Yeah.
Yep. Fantastic.
The more cheese, the better.
But can we so we started eating cheese goldfish. Wow. When my brother was little, dog, I eat goldfish I would eat goldfish all the time. I love goldfish.
So I used to just open up the thing and just.
Oh yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Why would you reach your hand in there and get your hand on?
Just
crazy.
Dump it in your mouth. All right. What were we talking about?
Skip. We were talking about Skipolis Bayless. Skipopolis. Anyway, all that we were talking about the Minnesota Vikings. And the game, they ended up winning by 3.
Yeah, it was a close game.
It ended up being... the final score was 28-24. The Cowboys had the ball on the 10-ish yard line.
Yeah.
with like a minute left or something. Dak Prescott
Here we go.
balled out of control. He
balled out of control in a what?
He had 397 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 pick.
He had 390, all that in a what?
In a loss.
So it doesn't matter. Cool.
Correct. It does not matter.
Except if your name is Skip Bayless.
Right. Here's the thing. Here's the whole crux of the issue, right?
Crux.
So Dak, if he wins that game, the only thing we're talking about is Dak
Why
Prescott.
do we keep calling him that?
Rain.
Thank you.
If he wins, then I would have praised him because that's a hell of a game. That's an amazing game.
Sure.
You did everything you needed to do to win the game except for
win the game.
Yes, but if you on third, they ran the ball twice. So first and second down, they ran the ball.
Okay, I get that. Behind that offensive line,
There was an incomplete pass.
Okay.
It's 4th and 5.
All right.
They ran Zeke on an out route. Incomplete pass.
Of course.
That's how the game ends.
That's not a great ending.
Right. And so I want to lean more towards play calling.
It's almost like Jason Garrett has no fucking clue what he's doing.
Jason Garrett doesn't call the offense anymore.
You sure?
Yes.
Because that sounds like a Jason Garrett fucking series right there.
You know what I'm going to call you? Skip Bayless Jr. It's the same shit he said. So how come you automatically go to blame Jason Garrett when they lose?
Yeah.
But the rest of the season,
praise him when you win.
You don't you praise Dak or you praise Kellen Moore.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to give Jason Garrett any credit.
Kellen Moore.
Is
he their offensive coordinator?
Yes.
Former quarterback.
Kellen Moore. Kellenus Morris is their.
All right.
He played for Boise State.
I know who it is. Let me find out this real man's name is Kellenist Morris.
But anyway.
Kellenist?
The whole point of the matter is, Skip likes to argue that the team doesn't run through Zeke and that it's Dak's team and all this stuff. That's all fine and good. But
3 of the last 4 plays were to Zeke.
Yes, but they shouldn't have been. Dak Prescott was balling. They should have given
No, you're right. I'm saying.
But here's the thing.
But if you're throwing the ball, you don't have to go to your first read, man.
Dak Prescott Rain is 1-10 when Zeke rushes for under 75 yards. Now, that would lead me to believe that you might need more help from Zeke.
Zeke? Yeah.
So if the team doesn't run through Zeke, how come if he doesn't play well, you lose?
Play calling. I don't know what's.
These are the questions I'm asking.
What's Skipper got to say about that?
These are the questions I'm asking.
What's his real name? There's no way his real name is Skip.
Oh, it's Matthias.
That's not real. You had me so scared for a second.
I honestly don't know. I assume it's like Skipopolis or
Scooter Bayless.
So let me see this. Right here. He says bashes Russell. So against your 49ers, which you lost that
I don't
game
want
to
to talk
Seahawks
about it.
on Monday Night Football. He was saying that he threw a pick in the red zone. Oh, God. All right, hold on. He looked up Skip Bayless' name.
It's John Edward Bayless II. I would definitely go by fucking Skip.
John Edward? Woof. Anyway.
The second.
So he was
J.E. Bayless.
In the red zone, in overtime, he threw an interception. Your guys returned it. You also didn't do anything with the ball. They go down and kick a field goal.
Jimmy G looked like shit.
Straight shit. Anyway, so he threw a pick in the red zone. It was a really bad pass. He got strip sacked. And Skip Bayless says your MVP just doesn't do that. How can your MVP throw one bad interception? He has 2 on the year, by the way. How could your MVP get strip sacked? Because no quarterback's ever been strip sacked before and won the MVP, right?
Who strip sacked him? Was it Nick Bosa?
Yeah, probably.
Freak.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is he's using those 2 plays. He was like, well, how come nobody's talking about Dak Prescott? He threw for almost 400 yards.
Somebody is talking about Dak Prescott. It's always you because when you don't have Tom Brady's member in your mouth, you got his.
But he was like, Dak threw for almost 400 yards. But the reason is, it all boils down to this, Skip. It doesn't matter how many yards Dak throws for. If he loses, that's it.
That's it.
It doesn't matter. You lost. Russell Wilson, he only threw for like 185 yards, but he won.
Yep.
And all that matters is he was the reason the team won the game.
You know why we lost?
Because Russell Wilson?
No, because Robbie Gould was out. And kicker fucking pulled it.
He shanked it rough, bro.
Man, come on.
I've never seen him miss that bad.
Bro.
It's like he got scared.
Look like, what's his name? Help me out.
The laces were out? Ray Finkel?
No.
Oh.
The hold was perfect. Bob Menery on Instagram literally showed it. Everything was perfect.
But I was... I know. Making...
Finkel, I know.
Finkel is Einhorn.
All right.
Anyway.
That doesn't show you we don't belong doing this together. That
is a fact. Hey.
No, he shanked it. Like, never mind. It doesn't matter.
But yeah, so in another Lakers game, I don't remember. It was another game where LeBron obviously played well. He had 18 assists or whatever. But
only 18 assists.
But in the fourth, not really. I was a sarcastic.
I know, but still.
In the fourth quarter, the only quarter that matters. In the last couple minutes, Kyle Kuzma hit back-to-back threes to put him up for the rest of the game. And he said that's their real closer on that team is Kyle Kuzma, and that really you should give him all the credit for the win. But when Lou Williams did that for Kawhi the other day, nothing.
Yep.
Lou Williams, nothing.
Yep.
I don't understand that shit. I just don't understand. Oh, yeah, so this guy, Kevin Seifer.
All right, you can't just make up people's names.
Well, it's his name. He apparently gets to name who the quarterback of the week is. He picked Dak Prescott.
Look, you cannot...
It's Skip's nephew.
Yeah, come on.
Hey, Kevin, you better say. So Dak, he gives Dak quarterback of the week. 397 yards, like I said, 3 touchdowns. In a loss. Patrick Mahomes threw for 446 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, in a loss.
Oh, and the jump pass?
Yeah, and he can't get it. Oh, and let alone Lamar freaking Jackson, the spin move he put on the Bengals, couldn't get quarterback of the week.
I saw a comparison between that run that Vic had
against the Vikings in overtime to win the game.
Although to be fair, yeah, that run had a little more meaning behind it. A little
more meaning, and also Vic didn't make any moves; he just ran.
You weren't catching that man, bro.
So let's talk about this guy, Colin Cowherd. So he was talking about
no, Colin. No,
he said Aaron Rodgers is worth like 11 points in a football game. You have Aaron Rodgers, you can just add 11 points on.
Okay.
He said Khalil Mack is worth no points in an NFL game.
How many touchdowns does he have in his career?
Maybe not how many touchdowns does he have, but how many times has he taken the ball away from the other team's ability to score?
Shit, what was his first game in Chicago?
Yeah. I don't think he's worth 0.
But I mean,
he's got to swing you at least a field goal.
He means that in the negative, right? That like, not in a positive light, like he holds the other team to 0. He means like it's a detriment to your team, or not a detriment, but
he doesn't give you points. But yes, he can.
I mean, he's also a defensive player, so why are you? Those aren't it's not the same.
I don't know. Well, he was saying getting a quarterback versus getting a lineman.
Yeah, I guess, but
I just don't like the way he said he's not worth any points. I promise you, the Chicago Bears would give up more points if he wasn't on the team. That's points to me, right?
Not only that, but he makes 10 other people better by being on the field, just like Aaron Rodgers. You know what I mean? Like it's not. Sometimes the things these people say.
Danny Cannell said,
"Who the fuck is that?"
Sorry, that was aggressive. He played quarterback. He was filling in on First Things First. He is an asshat, though. He said Myles Garrett his suspension only worth 3 games.
Whatever.
Dog, he said Marquise Pouncey should be suspended more games.
Whatever. Pouncey was the only one in that scenario that did the right thing.
And David DeCastro.
But I meant who was the aggressor, though. Castro was trying to,
So I originally had on here, Max Kelman said that Mason Rudolph should be suspended. Here's why Mason Rudolph shouldn't be suspended. Okay?
Because he got hit with his own helmet?
Yes! By a 265
He got his punishment.
Exactly.
Did anybody check him for fucking concussion protocol after that, bro?
Like, if you poke the fucking bear and get hit with your own football helmet, you don't get to be suspended. The NFL goes, hey,
it's literally like having a pet snake and then trying to kill it because it bit you.
Stop, wait. Why the fuck did you go with pet snake?
Because if it bites you.
But why snake? Why?
I was trying to equate a pet that you could have that could cause damage to you. I don't know.
Because a dog?
I'm not going to lie to you. See, here's why I'll never have like a pet snake or a spider or whatever. Because if it bit me one time, I'm out, however much that pet was.
But why? But I wouldn't get it in the first place.
You're right, but I'm saying if I did, I'd be a waste of money.
If I had a pet zebra.
If I had a pet goat and it fucking, head-butted me, I'd be upset.
But, like, And that's why I didn't feel like Plexico Burress should be suspended.
He shot himself.
Like, the NFL should be like, all right, you got to live with that.
Now you're known as the dumbass that shot himself in a nightclub.
Like when they bring Mason Rudolph in for his talk, they're like, so you're not going to do that again, are you?
He's like, close the door.
It reminds me of...
You feel stupid, huh?
One of my favorite comedians, Christopher Titus. And I say that because his stand-up made me laugh for years. He was talking about
He's still touring.
Yeah, but he's got all his shit locked behind his own website. I'm not going to go
follow him on Instagram. You can see some of his stuff.
No, but I'm talking about his Norman Rockwell is Bleeding.
Norman Rockwell is Bleeding. Love is Evil
is great, too. But Norman Rockwell is Bleeding, he was talking about how he had a shitty dad. And he's... Or not in general, he was like, this is how dads raise their kids, right? He's like, your mom sees you putting your keys in a light socket. The mom's like, no. We don't do that. It's going to shock you. And he's like, dad is just like, Wait. And then he said he sees the kid putting a penny in a light socket, and then he goes, like he's getting electrocuted, and the lights in the set dim. And he goes over to the kid and goes, shot your ass about 8 feet, didn't it?
Not going to do that again, are you?
And that's what they're going to do to Mason Rudolph. He's like, got your ass clubbed in the head, huh?
I still see the dent. You'll be all right?
Did you see the picture of the
Bob Menery? If you enjoy sports and funny... Go follow Bob Menery on Instagram.
Hilarious.
He's got his own podcast, too. Have you listened to it?
No, I've heard.
He had Shaq on.
He's going to have Doc Rivers on. He's had a couple. He had Logan and KSI on before their fight.
Who cares?
I mean...
I say let them take the gloves off and just knock each other senseless so we don't have to ever hear about them again.
The only reason Logan Paul lost is because he cost himself 2 points.
Why?
Illegal punches. He hit him. He held the back of his head and hit him. That's 1 point. And then when KSI dropped to a knee, he punched him again while he was down. That's 2 points.
Why don't they just settle this the better way in the UFC octagon where you can kick each other in the face? You wouldn't enjoy watching Logan Paul get kicked right in the beak? Speaking of getting kicked right in the beak, remember what this week is? The 4-year anniversary of? Sorry, beautiful wife of mine, but it was the greatest moment, one of the greatest moments of my life. Ronda Rousey got knocked the fuck out.
She got kicked dead in her face.
Oh my gosh! When I tell you, because you know how Facebook does the memories, right?
Yeah.
This is how I can tell you that I've never changed.
All right, go.
Because it literally said it on my Facebook memories. I said, so glad she got knocked out. Now I don't have to hear how unstoppable she is.
Look, I skipped over probably the most egregious thing Skip has said all week. I didn't mean to, but this is really probably the worst thing he said in a minute.
Here we go.
Skip said,
"Yep.
If you ask every receiver in the NFL which quarterback they would have for the rest of this season, he claims every single one of them would pick Tom Brady."
Name one that would say Tom Brady, aside from people that already play with him.
No, fuck that. Julian Edelman would take Russell Wilson right now. He would the same way Tom would kick Julian Edelman out for Julio. He would politely push that old man down the stairs for Russell Wilson.
How do you politely push somebody down? Say sorry before you do it.
Arm around him. Hey, Tom is. Oh no! Like pretend you're reaching for him. And he's like, I guess we got Russell Wilson now. Not a single receiver in the NFL would rather have Tom Brady.
I don't think. Not over Mahomes.
He specifically said Russ.
Whatever.
Because he's saying Russell Wilson isn't your MVP. So, I play receiver.
Yep.
I like to run deep. Catch a deep ball every now and again. 20 yards ain't deep, fella.
No, it's not. No, checkdowns aren't deep, fella.
Well, I wouldn't even get the ball. I run too far.
You're right.
He's like, can't throw it that far. I gotta throw it to James White.
I'm at the 40. You're at the 20. I can't do that, man.
Oh, Tom Brady has to go pick out Gunnar Olszewski and freaking 3 guys from Dorchester to play wide receiver for him. So in the same day...
It's because they only signed white dudes.
But that's not his fault. N'Keal Harry's coming back this week. The same day he will say, Tom Brady will go pick out 3 guys from Dorchester and win the game. He'll say that Julian Edelman's a Hall of Famer.
Or he'll also say negative things about Aaron Rodgers and his nobodies.
Right. Well, Aaron Rodgers' nobodies aren't actually nobodies. What?
Scantling?
Valdez?
Lizard?
Geronimo Allison?
Lizard?
Lizard's balling, all right?
You're right.
Rookie of the year. Anyway, if I don't think I got anything left, fella.
I do.
Oh.
The Astros?
Oh! How have we not talked about the Astros yet? I forgot to write it down.
I did. Skiplerd. For those of you who don't know, or watch baseball, apparently the Astros are a bunch of dirty cheaters.
The Astros.
To an astronomical level. To the point where I'm hearing things where I haven't actually heard terms, but they're saying to punish, if this is proven true, the punishment of which is going to be something we've never seen before.
You think they get...
Like beyond Patriot level when they got caught for Spygate.
Do you think that they would do something like...
Take their World Series title away?
Easily.
Maybe.
Easily.
This might be dirtier than what the...
100%.
What the Patriots were
doing. So if you don't know what we're talking about, allow me to educate you just slightly. So it came out this week that the pitcher, it was a former pitcher for the Astros, said,
did I not write his name
we
down?
stole signs in 2017.
So he pitched for them in 2017. 2018 he pitched for the
when he won the World Series in 2017.
He pitched for the A's, and he was spreading it around, and then he was pitching for the Tigers, or the other way around. He was saying that, so essentially there was a camera, and I have proof that I really think
you said
it's
that.
true. Two things. One thing I told you, one thing I didn't tell you. That they were, so essentially there was a camera in center field recording the catcher signs. Now there is okay, so let me preface this by saying there is sign stealing in baseball already.
Oh, absolutely.
But you do an old school way where you got a guy on second.
Right.
And he's fucking
watching
and trying to tell the batter, hey, I think a fastball's coming. Hey, I think this is what's coming. But catchers also have their way around that where catcher will see that, he'll go to the pitcher, he's like, hey, you do what you got to do. I'll know what you're doing.
Right.
This takes it to a level where I've never even... So essentially what they're doing is they're having a camera in center field. They're also rumored that there's a train that goes around.
Yeah.
They're also saying there might be a camera on that too.
Oh.
And they're saying that they would pipe it, it would feed it into the dugout, and that the people, the players in the dugout would... like bang on shit, they would whistle. They would bang on shit, they would whistle, they would anything to let the batter know what pitch was coming.
But how is a bang and a whistle going to let them know?
So like say if it's a fastball, you whistle. If it's a changeup, you bang on a trash can.
Wow.
So you would know the different noise. And I was like, okay, how would you do that? I know no shit. I watched the video, somebody broke it down and they slowed it down. So it was two different at bats, two different batters. You can literally hear that it was a changeup that was thrown. You can literally hear a banging on something. And the first time I was like, okay, that could be, anything. Same banging on a different at bat.
Damn, bro.
Okay, so that's my one evidence that I told you about. The second one, somebody literally statistically broke down their a road and a way. They're statistically. Yeah. Dude, astronomically different.
Did you? Max Kellerman did the same thing.
Yeah, bro. Night and fucking. There was only one guy that had similar numbers. Everyone else, bro, it was ridiculous.
So in the 2017, not the World Series, the game before, the ALDS or CS or whatever.
No, ALCS.
Whatever it was, the Yankees versus Astros.
This year.
No, last year.
It was this year.
I thought, but he might have been something. But so the Astros at home,
the Astros play the Yankees.
Win a 4-1 game, and then they win like a 2-1 game. Then they go to the Yankees' house. The Yankees win 6-4, 5-1, and 8-1.
Yep.
So the Yankees take a 3-2 lead. The Astros go. You go back to Houston. The Yankees lose a 3-1 game and a 2-2 game or something.
Yep.
Like a 3-2 game, like real close, low-scoring games.
Mm-hmm.
So just right there, home and road, when they get home, they're able to catch the pitches. They might not be as good, like the players aren't as talented, but because they know what's coming, they're able to even the odds against the Yankees team who was beating the brakes off them.
The Yankees came out and said that when they were in Houston, they kept hearing whistling, tipping them off what was happening. You still have to go out there and do the damn thing.
Right.
Like hitting a home run off of Aroldis Chapman.
It's still difficult.
But if
it's Aroldis Chapman, you know he's throwing 105 miles an hour.
It's either a fastball or I think he also throws
but what if it was that one
or
guy that Mike knows who throws 120 mile an hour fastball underhand?
We have a pathological liar that we both know, and he's the greatest athlete of all time. So I mean, I could. I'm
going to give you 2 seconds of silence. I want you to guess why he didn't end up fulfilling his athletic dreams. Okay, you ready? Set, go. Okay, now, did you guess that he had a knee injury?
He blew his knee out.
Playing football.
The same story every wannabe Hall of Fame type athlete has.
Yes.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so...
Did you hear the story about how he blew his knee out, though?
Wasn't he went over the middle?
No, he was receiver.
Yeah.
He was receiver. Now, he went to college playing receiver. And he was also...
should have been a quarterback.
He was also a quarterback. But
the coach's kid was the quarterback.
And so what he did was, he had burned a guy, because of course he did, in the previous play. And so the quarterback threw the ball, let him inside. It was a go, but he threw it like short or something. So he stopped and jumped over the guy to catch the ball.
So he mossed him.
Right, and the safety came over, and while his leg was planted, hit it, blew his knee out. And that guy, the coach, beat him up right there on the field.
Of course he did. You know what college he went to? Manchester. I didn't know it was a college.
I got scholarship to go there.
Here's what's funny to me, all right? I'm not saying anything bad about Manchester. However, I will say this. This guy also said he could run a 4.3 in pads.
Correct.
You know who else ran a 4.3 in pads?
Deion Sanders.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah.
He literally said to my face multiple times, he ran the same 40 time as Tony Dorsett. Hall of Fame running back Tony Dorsett. He said,
yes,
I ran the same 40 times.
I've heard that.
And you went to fucking Manchester?
Yeah.
I think he's in his 60s, so help me out, do the math real quick. He would have been in 70s?
Yeah, sometime.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. People wouldn't have been drooling over a hand-timed 4.3.
Guys, listen.
He literally said, he said he ran his 40.
Yeah.
And they clocked him.
Yeah.
And they said he didn't believe him, so they made him do it 5 more times to prove that he could do it every time.
Do you know how long you get at the combine to run your 40 after, you run your 40 and then it's like 20 or 30 minutes because other guys are going to run it before you go again.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah.
And also, by the 5th time, I promise you didn't run 4.3.
No, there's no fucking way.
In pads?
This is also the same guy that said he got tired of doing tire flips, so he just carried the tire around the track.
Yeah, listen, this is also the guy who said he was a quarterback of somewhere.
Oh yeah, Memorial, dog.
Memorial, yes, the quarterback of Memorial High School. They ran the option, and he's running the option. He pulls it. He's running out. He gets tackled. He didn't see that, but he remembered. He landed on his collarbone. He thinks he broke it. He's laying there. He rolls over, looks down the field. His running back's in the end zone. He's like, I don't even know what happened. I just blacked out. I was getting ready to get tackled, but I made the pitch while I was getting tackled.
Tell him the best part about the collarbone.
So he broke his collarbone on his right.
In his throwing shoulder.
On his right shoulder. He broke his collarbone, okay? I think the next game, so a week later, the next Friday, the backup's in. He's playing terribly. The coach puts him back in the game with a broken collarbone. He then continues to play the rest of the season. There are fans complaining that they didn't throw the ball enough. And his mom was like, well, he's playing with a broken collarbone, so what do you want him to do?
It sounds like we're making it up.
I promise you,
these are real stories.
These are real things that he said.
This doesn't even touch, a lot of the shit that he said.
So the first time I ever really, I
want to write them all down.
Right?
And print them out.
I experienced it, the first time I experienced it, together, right? So Corey and I were working on a Friday. It was just us working at the end of the Bombi.
Yep. It's a manufacturing.
It doesn't matter. I was just telling him. It was more for him. Anyway.
I remember. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Corey is facing me, and Mike is standing next to Corey. So
he's standing next to you.
He's standing next to me.
Because I'm watching you the whole time. Because I don't know how the fuck you don't laugh.
But Mike, I thought Mike was looking at me because
he was standing next to you.
No.
I'm telling you, bro, because I was on the backside, because I was always on the backside.
But dog,
you were on this side because no one was over there.
No, but I'm saying the reason that this time was different was because I was making eye contact with Mike, and you were the one. I was trying not to laugh at you.
Okay.
And so Mike comes up, he's standing next to Corey, and we were talking about baseball. And Mike,
I don't remember what the hell. For the life of me.
Well, we were talking about sports. Shocker, I know, right? We talk about it every week.
Yeah, every day of our life.
Hey, check us out on Facebook and
Instagram, Twitter.
Anyway, hey, so Mike comes up, right? And we're talking about baseball, and we're talking about getting hit by a pitch or something, about how it sucks or it would be terrible. And Mike said,
hold on, This is
in fast pitch softball, which is underhand. Underhand.
There you go.
He said, "Yeah."
Mike something. I can't remember what the hell the guy.
I don't remember the pitcher.
The guy is real though.
The guy is real. I did too. It was a real pitcher he was talking about, and he said, "Yeah, I had a guy throw 95 at me, and he took a lot off
because he liked me.
Now, the problem I have is, listen, I paused because taking a lot off of 95? Whatever to get to 95. He said I took a lot off, and he got to 95. So my question is, how fast does he really throw? So Mike then says, with a straight face, he threw about 120 miles an hour.
Yep.
In fast pitch underhand softball. He said he's never been that pitcher had never been hit on before.
No, that whole season he only had been hit on twice.
Right. Now, one of them, the reason Mike got hit is because he had a hit on him that game. Now, Mike is in the batter's box. This Hall of Fame level pitcher who throws 120 miles an hour is so erratic, I guess. He throws the ball over behind Mike's head. The ball hits Mike's bat, sitting over his shoulder. Bloop!
You have to say bloop. You have to say bloop, because he literally said bloop. Bloop over first base for a single. And then he comes up and he gets hit. He said he took a lot off because he liked him. He said, yeah, I took about a 90 miler right in the ribs. And he's like, I knew it was coming when I stepped in.
He said it was a bloop single. It hit the bat over his shoulder, and it was a bloop single over first. Does that count?
Yeah. I mean, if it's in fair territory. However, bullshit.
So it gets better, right? So Mike leaves. Corey and I start crying over the 120 mile an hour fastball. To put that in perspective, the fastest ever recorded baseball pitch is 105. That's overhand with a step.
Yep.
And so I go ask Jay, right? Because Jay plays softball like that. So I was like, hey, Jay, man, I got to talk to you about something. He's like, what's up? I said, so Mike told me this pitcher. I gave him the pitcher's name. He showed me the pitcher was real. He said, this dude threw a 120 mile an hour fastball. Jay goes, yeah, about that. I was like, Jay, that's not possible. You know that. No. He's like, well, the mound's closer.
I mean, velocity maybe.
No.
But I'm saying there's no fucking way.
It's impossible.
I literally looked it up. The record for fast pitch softball is like 85, 90.
Yeah, I think a 90.
Which would be terrifying how close that is.
Yeah.
But 120?
So maybe he meant to say it's like 120.
Yeah. Here's my question. So he's so erratic that he hit your bat and blooped it over, right? But he's in control enough not only to take some off, but to plunk you. Come on, dog.
Bro, so listen. So can we just tell Mike stories for a second?
Let's just
so Mike, one time, we were talking about football.
You want to take turns? Let's take turns.
Yeah, so one of my favorites, Mike, a classic Mike story. He was playing flag football in college after he blew his knee out.
He has to play flag now.
He has to play flag. They were like, hey, they've been begging him to come play. So he's like, all right. So he shows up to play, right? He's playing safety. 20 yards off the ball.
Why are you playing so deep?
They snap the ball. He runs up.
Sprints
up from
that 4.3 speed.
Breaks. He rushes the passer and
he breaks the lineman.
He breaks the lineman's arm.
Yeah, there you go.
And then on the next play, does the same thing.
To a different guy.
Hurts another guy. I think he said breaks that guy's arm. And then it was like, I'm not doing this anymore. I can't injure people. And then left.
Yep. He told me, which one do I want to tell?
Oh, there's so many.
Did I ever tell you the dodging lightning one? Or
no.
I'll save that one for a minute.
Dodging lightning.
So he told me that when he used to do traveling baseball, which that's a thing. That's a real thing.
The travel leagues.
You have to try out.
Yes.
And the coaches do the classic. I'll take that kid.
Yeah.
He hurt his knee. I don't remember in what context.
Always hurt his knee.
His knee was like hurt, or his Achilles, something. He had something. He had a limp, like a noticeable limp.
Sure.
This guy said even with a limp, he hit a standing double with like a fucking hurt knee. Which I don't know if you've ever tried to run round bases.
Oof. Coming
off of first base to go to second base is not something that's simple. You think it would, but that turn, it's like a out route.
Yeah,
you got to cut. Cutting
with
on a blown out knee.
Yeah,
fuck
sure,
out of here. And he was taking number 1 overall, even with the knee.
Of course he was. He was the best player there. So another one of my classic Mike is he out of the blue, dog. So we're sitting in his office, right? And I was talking about
his favorite
martial arts
out of
or something,
nowhere.
right?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, when I was in high school, I could just walk down the hallway, jump up, kick the ceiling tile out of the ceiling, and come back down.
And keep walking?
Now, that's a 10-foot ceiling most of the time.
Kick a tile out.
Kick a tile out. So, I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, I was training with this guy.
Here we go.
For 3 years, I trained with him, and he didn't teach me any techniques. He wanted me to get better at my surroundings. He said, I can make a cigarette butt look like a 2x4. I can see almost 360 degrees around me.
He literally said he could see behind him, yeah. He's told me that same story. I will say one thing. For being a bullshitter, his stories are consistent.
He is a really good bullshitter. It's because he's told them a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. So, you want the lightning bolt one?
Yeah, please.
So, no, I'm going to save that one. I want that to be the last Mike story we tell. So, he used to talk about, he was so good at basketball.
He was best.
That he had to go to, I don't know if this is like him like showing how kind of racist he is. Or because I needed competition.
Right.
So I would go downtown Chicago.
Oh, God.
And I would put on ankle weights. And I could still dunk the basketball with ankle weights on. He said, because I had to wear ankle weights because if I didn't,
I jumped too high.
I dunked too high.
I've never heard that one.
Bro.
So there was one day we were sitting in the break room, right? And Corey and I are talking, obviously. And it might have been Ben. But we were arguing about LeBron James because Ben is an idiot. And
Ben hates LeBron James.
He just hates LeBron. And so we're talking about LeBron. And Mike comes up and tells, it's not a Mike story this time, but it's a Mike story because he's lying. He's telling a story, LeBron, before he gets to the NBA, 18, before the draft, he's hanging out in Cleveland or Miami. I can't remember which. He's meeting people outside to play horse with them. Just
LeBron?
On the streets. Yeah. He's just, everybody's coming to play horse with LeBron.
That makes sense, yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I got the story wrong. Michael Jordan is playing horse with everybody in Cleveland or in Miami or something.
Of course.
LeBron shows up, and they're going to play one-on-one.
Okay.
And LeBron makes his move, goes to the basket, Jordan swats it out of there, and says, "You're not there yet, kid," and leaves.
Of course he did.
Because Michael Jordan's been in Cleveland.
Because you wouldn't actually hear that everywhere if that really happened. What the fuck?
Bro,
so before I tell you my last story, that day that he told me about that, so it was me, Mike, and Randy were in the break room.
Oh, it's always good when Randy's around.
Another cool guy that we know. He was a former All-State running back.
For real. It's in the newspapers. It's not my story.
I've seen it. He brought it into work. I've seen he was an All-State running back. And if you look at him and he's 40, God, he's still in better shape than I've ever been in my life.
That's so rude.
And he doesn't work out, which is crazy.
Okay, to put it in perspective, the first day he'd been in the gym in 20 years, the dude tried to bench 300 pounds.
And almost got it up. And I had been working up to that for months.
The first time back in the gym, I don't even put weight on the bar.
Well, yeah, can I just do the bar? So, we're sitting in there, and the first time that I ever hear him talk about being able to run 4.3 in pads,
yeah.
Randy's in there. And I think I'm at the fridge or something, and I'm putting something in or taking something out. And Randy's over here, and I kind of sideways glance at him, and the face that Randy had on, he was like,
I know you're bullshitting.
The Randy face?
Yeah.
There's literally an emoji that is perfect.
I got one more.
He walked out, and I looked at Randy, and I go, did he? It's like, Deion Sanders ran a 4.3 in pads. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, that's prime time. He just walked out of the break room.
Did you know? There was one time he told me that, because back in the rough and tumble days of Elkhart, right?
Here we go.
It was intense, right? And he was, the other team had a wide receiver that was just burning him up. So they put Mike on him.
Had to play both ways,
right.
Obviously. Yeah.
The whole game. And because we were talking about chewing tobacco while you play football. So apparently this was a thing they did back in the day.
I believe
it. He said they're going back and forth, chasing each other around the field. The wide receiver spits tobacco juice on his shoe, laughs and says, "Hey, you're having a good game." Mike then spits his tobacco juice on that dude's shoes and was like, "You two are also having a good game." What the fuck?
All right, so lightning bolt time.
Tell me,
you ready for it?
I'm ready.
So apparently they were running. Was it? I can't remember what fictitious thing he was doing at the time.
Yes, he was doing something.
Him and a bunch of, I think, was it the Oklahoma drill? That's the one where you're all, what is it called? Where you're all in a line.
Okay.
And you got you're at the end and you have to sprint all the way to the front.
Okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about, yes.
I think they're called Indian runs or
some
bullshit. Every school calls them different.
Something different, yes.
Anyway, so I guess he was doing that, but he was so fast that, you know, they always made him do, like, double. Anyway,
he had to run around the whole line twice.
So they're either doing something along that. He's also told me that story. Anyway, they were running around the track. It was storming out or whatever. They were doing 2-a-days, and it was storming out. And I guess he was running. Of course, he was running with a black guy.
Yeah,
but that was the only guy that could kind of keep up with him.
Sure.
And they were running. Why does he have to make it about race? I fucking hate it. So he's running, and all of a sudden he just sees a flash of light. And he tackles the guy out of the way. He not only did he dodge a lightning bolt, but he saved somebody from a fuck. Bro, these stories don't make sense, bro.
But listen, none of this is. I mean, we are telling you, he really said these things.
These things to both of us, yeah.
They're not.
These are just sports related. These aren't other things that I've also heard him say.
All the other bullshit this guy says. But
this is a guy that works with me as my boss.
You have to take him seriously.
Yeah.
So my favorite thing that would happen before we leave is we'd say, "Oh yeah, Mike, you know he invented curling."
Yeah.
he taught Usain Bolt the proper running form.
Oh yeah, we always just made up dumb shit about
because honestly, it probably was true.
It kind of fit in with the dumb shit was spewing out of his mouth.
I did not expect to go on a Mike rant today, but anyway, thank you for listening.
I hope you made it through all that ridiculousness.
That was it was a bit over the top.
No episode next week. I'm not gonna be in town. Me in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Wow, that's. You just
watching this guy.
You just bum me out.
I'm going to watch a stand-up show, and then I'm going to watch a live podcast.
That's awesome. You should do that. Let me know how it goes.
Would that be something you'd do one day?
A live podcast?
That'd be kind of hard.
The hard part, I'd want to interact.
Why not? I'd do it. But my only problem is we're sports. So, but we could do other shit.
We could just have 3 people sit in my living room.
What do you guys want us to talk about?
Anyway, thanks for listening. Like you said, no episode next week. I'll try to my best to remember that. My aunt's been asking, maybe I can call on. We have a mini podcast. Well, I'll work something out. There might be a short episode or something next week. There might be something next week.
But I won't be in town.
Not you.
Oh, her? She's gonna come over.
No, she got call in or something.
Okay,
we'll see. We'll see.
You think you're gonna be able to hold it down without me?
Not for you mad? Not for a full time. Just a mini pod.
I'm here to make you mad. If I'm not here to make you mad, I think this whole thing falls apart.
You think so? Only when you say dumb stuff. Anyway,
probably not. You could probably totally man this whole thing
by myself. Absolutely not.
No, you shoulder it, and I just throw in tidbits.
But I need someone to riff off of. Even if that's the case, which is not, I need someone to riff.
How do people YouTube? You're talking to a camera.
That's the hardest thing. YouTubers are always like. I know it seems like a lot of fun, but it's hard. You got to teach yourself how to...
You're talking to yourself.
And be animated, but you're talking to yourself, but you're not talking to yourself.
And you also have to make it seem genuine. You can't be all PewDiePie about it and screaming about nothing.
I hate him.
Markiplier, too?
No, he's
the same way.
I don't watch him.
Yeah, good.
I don't watch PewDiePie either.
I tend to find myself, if I do watch gaming YouTubers, I tend to watch the smaller guys.
Yeah.
Because they still try.
Yep. Afro Senju. Check him out.
I follow a guy, if you like horror video games, or dumb ones that people try to make that aren't really scary at all, John Wolfe. I actually give him money every month. $5.
Happens to the best of us, fella. Anyway, thank you for listening to another episode.
Follow us on all the social media platforms.
All our social media platforms, and we will see you next week.
Later.
Oh, wait, hold on. I gotta play our outro.
I was gonna say, aren't we missing something?
I forgot we had one of those, so hold on. This is a totally professional podcast. Excuse me, you want to say that thing again?
See you guys next week? Later.
There it is.